Visionary, innovator, pioneer, family man. Add in the passion for each, and it sums up the legacy of Scotty Connal. To appreciate Scotty's dedication to purpose, one can look back to his aspirations as a hockey player, suiting up for the semi-pro New York Rovers of the Eastern Hockey League and the Jamaica Hawks of the Metropolitan Amateur Hockey League in the late 1940s. While playing hockey in 1947, Connal began to work at NBC as a page, the opening chapter to a career with the network, which spanned 32 years. An even more important phase of life would be fulfilled in his early years at NBC when he met Till Pfeiffer, whom he would eventually marry in 1951 and produce a family consisting of 8 children and 16 grandchildren. Connal's first years at NBC were spent in the news division. He has cited the Mercury space shots as a career highlight, but was also involved in the network's coverage of Lee Harvey Oswald's death at the Dallas Police Headquarters in 1963. The following year, he switched departments, becoming the administrator of sports, and 8 years later, being named the first executive producer in the history of NBC Sports. It was in this role at NBC where Scotty's lasting mark on the industry would begin to emerge through vision and innovation.
He asked us all in the room what we thought was the most important innovation in the telecast, the most important item that we had to have. And of course everyone said, oh, it's definitely lenses, and the guys said, no, it's replays. And I don't even think super slow-mo was invented at that point yet. And all Scotty did was walk around with his glasses on his forehead, rubbing his temples, going, guys. No, it's graphics. And remember, at that time we had Vidifont 4, and everyone in the room was like, graphics? What do you mean graphics? And he went on to tell us that most sports is watched in bars where you can't hear what's going on. So therefore, graphics are the most important thing you put on the screen so that the viewer knows what's going on. And you think about it, he had the idea for the bug box probably 15 years before it came to fruition.
Considered the father of the isolation camera, few shots in sports history are as memorable as Carlton Fisk urging his home run ball to stay fair to win Game 6 of the 1975 World Series, the legendary Fall Classic which earned Connal a Sports Emmy. In addition, Connal was prominent in the development of Peter Puck.
Peter Puck here again.
An animated character which enlightened fans on the rules of hockey, creating a blue tint on the ice to improve the viewer experience, and adding a microphone in the cup at PGA events. Connal worked 20 Super Bowls and was smack in the middle of the Heidi Bowl controversy, which saw fans taken away from the final minutes of a New York Jets-Oakland Raiders football game in 1968 in order to air a children's movie on schedule. To this day, the game remains a part of NFL lore. In 1979, Scotty Connal left NBC for Bristol, Connecticut to team up with Bill Rasmussen and Chet Simmons on an ambition for a 24-hour sports network.
I believe that the strategic advantage of ESPN is the culture of the company. Scotty, along with his wife Till, played a big role in establishing the culture early on at ESPN. They fostered a family-like atmosphere where everybody worked hard but had fun, and Scotty earned everybody's respect. But I really believe those were the early roots of the ESPN culture, which continue to drive this company today.
As Senior Vice President of Operations and Productions, Connal's initial charge was filling 16 hours of daily airtime to a mere 6 million potential viewers through events such as tractor pulling, ping pong, darts, and softball.
He listened to everybody in the room, even though it was his job. He had decades of experience in this. He wanted to know what we knew about these unknown teams. And, oh, okay, maybe we'll move them up to an earlier time slot. They might be more interesting. I never forgot that. We're more than 30 years after that, and his spirit of that day, of including everybody, is still in all of us that worked at ESPN in 1979 and in the 80s. We love Scotty Connal.
The man whose force of personality made this work was Scotty Connal. and to be more legendary than his portfolio of work and his knowledge and his vision. The most important factor was that he trusted the people that he worked with, and he chose to trust a lot of young people at the time. There was no guarantee, none at all, that this grand experiment was going to survive and thrive. And that it has is a tribute to a gentleman I remember with great respect and affection.
Eventually, the fledgling network gained traction as Connal brought forth a series of television firsts such as the NFL Draft, the USFL in stereo, a significant college basketball schedule, and the College World Series, not to mention making a mark again with NHL coverage.
If he could have, he would have been on the ice playing the game rather than watching those games from the control room and producing the games on the air. He loved the game so much.
Scotty was an absolute genius when it came to television. His passion, his pride was so unique and so special. I am honored to be part of this unbelievable tribute to Scotty Connal. If I were on TV, I would say Scotty is awesome, baby.
From very humble beginnings, Scotty Connal watched ESPN begin to blossom into a worldwide sports giant when he left the network in 1987, with its reach expanding by the day. In 1996, Scotty was offered the opportunity to reconnect with peers and co-workers at the Atlanta Olympics when word came of his untimely passing at the age of 68. Many pay tribute in services both in Atlanta and Greenwich, Connecticut, remembering a television pioneer. Perhaps his greatest legacy was those he touched for simply being a gentleman, a people person, and a family man. As patriarch of a large, wonderful family, it was once said, he had enough children to have his own baseball team, 8 plus him. With 4 children and 2 grandchildren, representing second and third generations, preserving his legacy in the television industry, Scotty has a hockey team, and he will forever be the head coach.